Stories untold, tales that we've spun, quite a few missing, where have they gone? Come and fill your mind with ghosts of the past. Now that we're breaking bad, now that we're breaking bad, now that we're breaking bad, now that we're breaking bad. Welcome to the first mini bard.
Mini bard.
How exciting. In this episode, it's going to be a little less structured. The story has been told. We're still reeling from it. And yeah, it's also a chance to get to know our guests a little bit more.
Me?
So, in the first tradition, I would like us to raise a toast and you decide what it is to or who it is to.
Oh, great. Okay, so I have two.
Okay.
So in general, I'm going to raise it to Humboldt. Obviously, I feel like it's necessary. Cheers to Humboldt.
Cheers
I think
to Humboldt.
he had a huge impact on the world. And not being funny, if I don't know who he is from my background, then not many people are going to know who he is. So I think that's a crying shame. Cheers to Humboldt.
Cheers to Humboldt.
Not much left. But more importantly, the biggest, and with all of my heart and all of my chest, I'd like to raise a glass to our dear grandmother, Dicke Marie Puff.
Dicke Marie Puff. She really was.
She was the
watchable
core,
the
root.
The root.
The connection between all of us.
She was. We were just a leaf on her branch.
She really set him in motion, didn't she? My goodness me.
Cheers to Dicke Marie.
Dicke Marie.
I love that. There's always something in a story like that. Just, I remember I was like, the early bit, blah, blah, blah. And then I just saw this thing of like, oh yeah, there was a notable oak tree. And I was like, what do you mean a fucking notable oak tree?
I need to know if she's still around. Is she still around? I need to know.
We can go. Schloss
a pilgrimage.
just outside of Berlin.
Well, when we go.
And you can visit it. And guess what? It's the museum to Humboldt.
Oh, we'll go and we'll take a picture.
We'll go and we'll do a live.
We'll take the Breaking Bad audience with us.
Yes. Did you say bad or bad?
Bad. Breaking Bad audience with us. We're not going to the clubs. We're not going to the bars.
No, we're not.
Dicke Marie. We've got an appointment with Dicke Marie. And we're going to keep that appointment with Dicke Marie.
I'll always keep an appointment with Dicke Marie.
Well, exactly. No, but I want to find out if she's still standing. 800 years old at the time of his life.
1780-ish.
She's probably not, is she? Bless her. But she'll have loads of babies.
And we can try and find out. Oh, the
babies will exist.
They'll whisper into us. I am the child.
Exactly. Dicke Marie Jr., Dicke Marie Jr., Jr., Dixie,
teeny Dicke Marie.
Oh, yeah.
Tiny Dick
Marie.
I love it. And that poor chef, the poor cook.
Oh, she's long bloody gone. She is. Oh, yeah. She was named after her.
She was named after her. She gets the she.
No, bless her heart. Yeah, she. I'll give it to her. Yeah, all right.
I feel like we should talk about our outfits today. So I wore this kind of like as a homage to the whole 18th century puffy sleeve.
Very that. Yeah.
Kind of thing. And today,
I didn't really know who it was, but my spirit was channeling Humboldt, because from the portrait we saw, the trousers are a bit different, but I own the trousers he was wearing, and this was almost identical.
I love it. It's very, when you walked in, didn't you?
Explorer.
I said,
you did, yeah.
Explorer.
Yeah, channeling that. So it's all coming together.
It's all coming together on Breaking Bad's mini bard. Amazing. So yeah, that was a great story. I'm really happy because it's always weird when you do the stories. Like there's always like this bit when I panic and I'm like, is there enough? And then it's because I'm like, yeah, there is enough. I just need to fucking do the work to find it. And then it was like a week and a half, 2 weeks of listening to podcasts, listening to stuff like that, watching. There was like a guy who did his life in 4 minutes on YouTube, and I'm like, no tea, no shade, but it's like, girl.
Yeah, you give him a bit longer.
Yeah, because I think what was really important in that story as well is like setting it in that controversial context, you know?
Yeah, of course.
And,
yeah.
But, Darwin and everyone, it's exactly
and
the same.
And it never gets mentioned in those conversations, really.
It doesn't.
And yeah, I guess he was doing the same thing, and he was traveling across. Like, he went to the Galapagos. I don't know. I should really read The Voyage of the Beagle, but I don't imagine. He might have gone through the Panama Canal, but he probably trekked. And if he did, there would be indigenous guides and things were going on. So, yeah, it's never really talked about in that way. And I think the indigenous knowledge thing. I mean, Darwin's a little bit different because it was so groundbreaking in what he discovered and what he found out, basically. But whereas Humboldt, in terms of the interconnectedness of nature, is like you said, the native people would just be like, no, I know.
They did, yeah.
So, it is important to kind of bring that up, I think. And
it is. Well, it's that thing of the world we live in. Like, that's what I love about Breaking Bad, is that, like, these people are people. They're never, like, heroes. You know, that's the thing I think in storytelling we always put a lens in, like, 100% good guy or 100% bad guy. And it's like, no, they're just people. And I think that's what I love about this podcast, is because a lot of these people were forgotten for another reason that was usually not due to the actual fact of what they did, but more about the social context. And that's changing now, where, you know, now we'll look back and be aware of the colonial aspect and the empirical, the empire aspect. But at the time, he was just a guy, you know.
Yeah, and I think scientists, in a way, kind of, they don't get off with a free pass. But, like, say if you're an artist, your art is only ever considered, unless you're hugely influential, like, in its own kind of box and context, whereas science, he was right. Yeah. So no matter what happened, say he was very pro-slavery, very pro oppressing the indigenous people of South America, if he was right in his science, like, that would still be thought of today, and still would be his in that way, his kind of contribution would still be relevant. Yeah. Whereas, like, with an artist, if they were awful, like terrible, you can just be like, we're not listening to that anymore. Yeah, whereas from a scientific perspective, you can't really do that because that's just, they found out something that is true. Yeah. So you can't, it's weird. It's a weird balance to strike. And, like, luckily with him, it's not a huge aspect of what he had to go through, or what he did. It's just more of the time. And he sounded like he was relatively progressive for where he was going through. But it's an interesting thing to think about in general for scientists.
It is. So, next question I have for you is, if you could go back at that time, and ask Humboldt one question, what would it be?
It's a great question. What would I ask him? I think what I'd want to ask him. So his legacy and his work was so much about the interconnectedness of nature, and it wasn't something that was necessarily widely believed before. But I do think, to an extent, if you're someone who is aware of nature, and even like an English countryside, it's very difficult to, that fact to me, but again, it's difficult because I'm coming from a contemporary time where there's tons of research around it, but it seems relatively self-evident that these things are connected. Like, I would want to know, did he have an inkling that was true before? Because so much of the wonder of what nature is that interconnectedness, I think. So was it that inspired him, he wanted to go and prove it? Or was it that he liked this seemingly impenetrable web of wondrous things and he wanted to go and find out what that was? Like, what was the motivation? What did he think he was going to find? Was it the interconnectedness, or did that kind of present itself as he went along?
Beautiful question. I would have wanted to ask him, what the fuck went down in that tent with Aimé Bonpland and Carlos Montefort?
Well, I should have thought of Carlos. Yeah, I went a bit highbrow, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. But that's why I love us. Yeah. I think you're the highbrow.
Well, I should have just gone for it. No, I'm fully.
I hoped you wouldn't, so I could be completely smart.
But I just assumed what happened with Carlos. Do you know?
But I want the details.
The absolute
details. I want to know, who did what.
Where were they? What was the view like?
Up against what tree?
Yeah, what species of tree? Yeah, exactly. What animals were watching?
Not the Dicke Marie.
Dicke Marie. No. Dicke Marie is sacred.
No, she is.
She's family.
She's literally family.
You can't be shagging up against Dicke Marie.
No.
But no, I would also love. I would like that too.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like.
Yeah, I like your question too. If you and I could time travel back, we'd be like, hi.
And which one do you think you'd rather answer? Mine or yours? 100% yours.
Yeah, mine for sure.
Because bless him, who else is he going to be talking to it about? No. He would be gagging to talk to us about it.
Well, me too. He'd be like, can I be on the podcast, please?
I'll fucking tell you. Yeah. That's what I'll say.
He's like, well.
So you wouldn't believe it.
I crossed eyes. So me and Bonpland were at the bar. We saw Carlos next to his dad, Marquis Juan Montefort. And we were like, and Caldas was like, Oh shit! I see where this is going.
Carlos was.
You're out.
Yeah, he was already
Writing a scorned letter.
Fucking tell you.
The Babylon of
Tainted love. Oh
yeah, it's like just because you didn't want to with him.
yeah. Well, they probably did.
I'm sure.
They
They
did,
were all
he just
fucking-
couldn't compare to Carlos, could he? I don't think.
No. I wonder how handsome Carlos was.
Sounds very handsome. to be honest.
Carlos. Gorgeous name.
Yeah, lovely. And his surname as well.
Yeah, Montefor.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he'd prefer to answer your question, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. And I think.
So if we had to choose one, I'd choose yours.
Okay, thank you.
I'm a guest, but still.
Another question, less about this now, but just, we both love, obviously, stories. And I feel like also there's something about being a gay person that, and it might not, maybe straight people feel this too. Let us know. We certainly don't. But, what for you kind of constitutes a good story?
Yeah, that's a very difficult question. Well, is it? So I think, it is genuinely the case that I think having a gay perspective in the story does make a difference.
Yeah.
And the older I get, and the more of my gay life I've lived, I do feel that I kind of need that in a way. And I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing, because I think such a important part of stories is allowing you to relate to someone that you wouldn't necessarily relate to otherwise. That's what I think is one of the best things about literature, is like you're inside someone else's head. So that it shouldn't automatically be that I need you to be gay for me to appreciate that. But
I need you to be gay.
Yeah. But I just think we've absorbed so much just straight literature all the time that I just think it is nice when you have that, and and again, that, what I said about literature and being able to imagine yourself in someone else's shoes is also the case for straight people. But they've always had that. They still, even within that context and kind of that idea, they are only ever really imagining themselves in other straight person's shoes. So we can still imagine ourselves in a different gay person's shoes and be like, oh, this is learning something new, but they're still gay, and that is a real important thing. So that is one thing I think is really important. I also love, obviously a story has to say something, to have a message, have a point that is kind of told in a way that's really beautiful and a really clear message. And I think that's because stories are the way that people really learn. I think humans are kind of built for stories, and I think
for sure.
The best statistics, the best science really is storytelling, and that is where people learn it the most. So I think that is a key thing. And on a really less kind of highbrow again level, I love a twist. I love a twist. I love but my favorite type of twist is something where I don't see it coming at all until right before it's revealed. So I don't want it, because I think if I only get it when they've told me, it's a little bit too obscure.
You need a little
I want
bit
to work it out just the 2 seconds before they tell me. All things resolve into place, and I see it, and I'm and I look back and I can see everything before that. It's oh, that's it. So when we went to see Ostentatious the other day?
Yes.
Great, you should all go see it.
Yeah, really good.
For context, an improv comedy musical set in Jane Eyre period and in Jane Eyre style. Not Jane Eyre, Jane Austen. She wrote Jane Eyre. Oh my God! See, I'm not a literatician. But so that is a good example. So, it didn't resolve this way, but throughout the story, there was 2 guys. One was the newcomer, bit of a prick. One was the slightly timid guy that she was like, oh, he's going to get with her. But the through line throughout the whole thing was that the mum hated her dad. That was the joke.
Yeah.
And then it kind of looked like the actual twist was going to be that she shouldn't marry anyone, because the message was my mum had a bad marriage. And I didn't see that until just before, when I thought it was going to be revealed. And I was like, oh, that makes complete sense. And I could kind of see that through line.
Because she was like, no, I don't think you should marry anyone.
Yeah. And I was like, but that is, I saw the idea of her getting with the timid guy was predictable enough that I was like, that's what's going to be. It'd be nice if it did. But then this came out of the blue, and I was like, oh, that's actually, and it makes as much sense, but it's completely.
So you like to know I'm coming, just right before.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just before. But yeah, so I can kind of, and I can feel clever because, I mean, they basically just told me without saying the words, but I'm like, I know what it is. And then they say it, I'm like, I knew it, I told you. And
splat.
Yeah. And another film, just recommendations, if you want something like that. The best ever example of that I've ever seen is the film Arrival.
Yes.
Which is also a book,
film.
but
a great film.
by I can't remember his name. But yeah, that is the best ever example of that. When you kind of work it out when it happens, you're like, it completely changes the perspective of everything that came before. And
brilliant.
Long answer.
No, I love it. Well, this is what this mini bard is about. There's no structure, darling.
Maxi bard.
No, that actually reminds me of something that I just finished a book that, if you follow me on social media, you might have seen that I was literally just bawling my eyes out. A book called Ce que je sais de toi by Eric Chafour, which by a person who is in Quebec, so written in French, but translated it means what I know about you. And like you said, it had both things. It was like a queer story, so it's based on this young boy who's born in late 60s Egypt, Cairo. His father's a doctor. He becomes a doctor. The father dies young, has a sister and a mother. He kind of lives his life as he should, meets this woman, gets married, and then meets Ali. And oh my God, it's brilliant in so many ways because, first of all, the whole narration throughout the book is you. So it's always, you did this, you did that, then you went there. So they're talking about him and they're like, the guy, the doctor's name's Tarek. And it's like, you did this, you did that. And for the longest time, throughout the whole book, until the twist, I thought he was talking to himself. I thought it was a diary of him talking back. And oh my God, the twist, you were not ready for it. And it's so beautiful because I don't want to spoil anyone. And you should really read this book.
I think I will.
No, you really should because, you know, I think a lot of the time, like yourself, I didn't read many queer books growing up, and I've really only got into that, especially later in life. And it is kind of like, you know, this thirst. I'm drinking them in where I'm like, oh my God, how did I not have this? And every book makes me think of 14-year-old, 15-year-old Kaine who would have loved to read this and know that, you know, we can have these romantic, because it's so well, I mean, French language, like, mashallah, like it's such a beautiful literary language. And this man, who I believe has Arab influences as well, probably Egyptian influences, like writes in the most beautiful French. And it's to the point where sometimes like, wait, what the fuck is he saying? But you kind of get lost in this, like, and the time goes past, it goes until he's like 50, 60. And wow, when you realize, like, it's not just about the queerness as well. It has a really big thing about the women in his life. And I think as a queer person, like that's why I was shocked the pillars of our earth.
Yeah, that's why I was shocked for old Humboldt about his mum. Like,
well, yeah,
I mean, obviously it does happen, but like women are such
too,
a
and how sad actually. Like, it is. You wonder why, you know, she was so distant and cold, and why there was that, but. I guess, you know, growing up when your dad dies at 10. And
obviously, like, there are many LGBT men that aren't close with their mum.
Of course.
So,
but yeah,
it sounds really good.
That book's amazing. And honestly, it was like, I love a sad book. I love a book that makes me cry. This, the person who bought it for me, Sarah, shout out to you, Sarah Shash. I literally was writing to her, like, this is so sad. Like, it really made me... It makes you feel like, no, you want to get in and shake this person and be like, don't, especially because the decisions, again, not spoiling, are like based on, you know, 80s, I'm gay, but I have to leave. I have to do everything. And it's just like, wow, it was, I have not been that emotional from a book. Like, I don't think ever.
Really?
Like, that's how, wow.
Is there an English translation?
Yeah, and it's translated in over 10 languages.
I'll definitely read it.
And it came out in 2023.
Really? I'll quite new then.
And actually, the author, Eric, he mentioned me and he wrote to me. And
you told me.
I tagged him.
Yeah, you did tell me.
And I sent him a 3-minute blubbering voice note, which, if anyone knows me, knows that I am that kind of person. I will just send you voice notes. Hey, Angel.
This is what this is.
Yeah, basically, welcome to my podcast. But I told him, I was like, wow, I just can't get over how impregnated you've made me of these people.
Is that the word you meant?
Yeah, I think so. Like, he penetrated me with this story.
Yeah.
And these people, I honestly thought about this story every day for a week after. And I cried in the shower that same day thinking back about it. Because again, when the twist hits, you look back and you're like, wow.
Yeah, okay.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah. I want to read it. No, I will. And do you know what Ali's short for?
What?
Alexander von Humboldt!
Oh my God! It's brilliant.
It's full circle.
It really is.
But no, obviously, I would love to. I will definitely.
No,
I think
read
it sounds
that.
great.
But yeah, queer stories, you're so right. Going back to the whole thing of the story, you know, storytelling, that's why I do love Breaking Bad. And it's that thing about finding these people. Whenever I find this person, like I was literally like trying to find someone that would, you know, for you with your knowledge and kind of love and passion for nature, natural science, I was like, oh, well, let's try and find someone like that. And actually, it was a fucking goldmine because
it was. It really was. Yeah,
it's really important. I think what you know, twists, etc. But having that feel like you can relate to someone. That's what I love. Every episode, I feel like I think I told you this before. Whenever I've done that, it's like we've resurrected him, and he's kind of in the room with us a little bit.
Yeah,
and you kind of go away now. And if anyone ever says, "Oh, von Humboldt," you'll be like, I have feelings attached to him now.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think, like, being gay is such a strange minority because there's no family attachment to it. Like, you don't, like, black people don't come out to their family as being black. Like, it's such a isolating thing sometimes. It's like, it's our cultural ancestry in a big way, I think. Like, and people don't always consider that. Like, they think it's just two disparate things because he's like German and from the 1700s. But actually, like, it is our ancestry, I think, in a real way. And we don't kind of consider that sometimes. So
we have
dear old Al.
Yeah, dear old Al. Love him. So is there a story, and it could be, you know, a show, a book, a film, something that like just stayed with you since you were little, forever, that you kind of like, it's just like, oh, you don't know why, but you're obsessed with it?
No. I was really thinking about trying to work out which one it would be. And I don't think there's anything that it's going to be, maybe it's because I just want to talk about it. And it's not particularly like, it's not particularly poignant or anything, but it's my favorite film, one of my favorite films now. And I remember the first time I watched it and it stuck with me for like weeks. It was Titanic.
I was gonna say Titanic.
Yeah, it genuinely was Titanic.
Mine.
Yeah, it was Titanic. Like, I watched it, and I think it was the first film I ever watched that I was like it affected me afterwards.
Me too.
Like for days afterwards.
And it's like, why are we obsessed with a boat thing, right?
Yeah.
Like as you said, it's not like it had nothing to do with us. We didn't go on it. We didn't. It wasn't our time period.
Yeah.
But what a story.
But I think it is. So someone else, I think I was watching a YouTube video about it, and someone said that like if you pitched Titanic to I want to write this book, they'd be like, that's a bit too much. The idea that it's like the biggest ship that's ever existed. Yeah. On their maiden voyage, sunk, and it was like
I still can't get over
too
that
many things that'd be like it's just too like that would never happen.
No,
and then it did, and then I think when I first saw it properly, I must have been about I've been seen clips of it, but I must have been about 12, I think 13, and I remember watching it, and I think that was a weird thing to say as well. But like the first time I really saw like injustice in a really big way, like and kind of class differences and like the scene when they're like the lower decks are like locked in.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that when I was young and like the first like real visceral experience of that level of kind of, because you talk about class differences and injustices and like privilege and stuff, but when a disaster's not happening, that's all a relatively not background, you know what I mean? It's not as in your face. And then seeing that and like was just like something that really shook me as being like, I was crazy. Like, what do you mean there's not enough boats? What are you talking about? Of course there is.
Yeah.
And so that was the one. And that genuinely really...
That makes so much sense. And then just the scene when she's standing on her tiptoes.
Oh, yes!
Like,
and she spits in the man's face.
Yes, I love that too.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much. And I don't know if it's a generational thing. Maybe
it probably is. Yeah,
maybe every generation has that film that comes out that is just so grand. So what the fuck? Because it's true. I still... Like, obviously, if you're a Breaking Bad fan, you've heard my episode, I think, 4, Violet, the Queen of Sinking Ships, a woman who... Well, you'll have to go and listen to that one.
I'll have to listen
You
to that one.
will love that one. She survived not just the Titanic, but 3 other.
Oh, really?
Yeah, girl.
Cursed old
woman
hag.
or
sea hag. Fucking siren.
Clung to the Dicke Marie oak tree.
Dicke Marie was nowhere near the. Don't worry, everyone. Dicke Marie is fine. She's safe.
Dicke Marie was saved. They might have used her for the lifeboat.
For the fucking ship. Yeah. Oh
I mean,
my
maybe.
God.
But
That'd
no,
be an auspicious end.
That
to
was-
Dicke Marie. She was on the Titanic. She was the grand board. She was the clock. She was the wooden clock in the
I'm
staircase.
obsessed. She's everywhere.
She's everywhere. She's in all of us.
She's a staple.
Dicke
Touch
Marie.
wood. That's why you
That's where it
say
comes from.
touch
That's where you
wood,
touch- that
Dicke
is where you
Marie.
say touch wood.
But no, Titanic, same.
Yeah.
One of the best. I don't know.
But
why.
you see, it is a generational thing. But I think in terms of, you have films that have beaten it in the box office, but in terms of its like run,
Yeah.
like it was completely unprecedented. I think like people were obsessed with it, and I think that's the reason. It's just such a. Well, I won't hear any bad words said about it. If you're listening,
No.
I'm not having it. Sorry.
That's one of my biggest red flags.
Me too.
If I meet
Me
someone and they're like,
too.
don't like the Titanic or not seen it, I'm like,
I can get on board with not seeing.
me too, because it's like, some people never got
Some people are ignorant,
taken
aren't they?
to Disneyland when they were little, and that's just on their parents' fault.
Exactly.
But no, I don't like it.
No. If
It's too long. Too long.
they were on the ship for hours,
Literally.
freezing cold, and you have respect
No
for them poor
empathy.
people.
But I mean, I love asking myself the same question about what I love about a story is.
Oh, wait. Sorry. What is your favourite?
Thank you, darling. So considerate.
Thank you.
You
Sorry,
really do.
apologies.
From guest to co-host.
Yeah, thank you.
I have to say, on top of everything, because I mean, ENFP, ENFJ,
Oh, yeah,
we
yeah.
are the same person. I would say that I love a survival story.
Oh yeah,
Survival story. I mean, literally, when I'm walking to Asda or when I'm going about, I'm listening to. I love a podcast called Real Survival Stories. I always think about sending them to you, but I don't know. I never know where you stand with it. And basically, yeah, it's real people talking about like when they survived this amazing thing, and I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I fucking love it because it gives you that adrenaline. Like I'm just walking to Leighton Station, and I'm like, also, it's hour 8 floating in the middle of nowhere, and you feel that adrenaline, but then you know the person survived because he's telling you the story.
Yeah.
And you've got as well a moral of the story that he, they're like, it made me appreciate this. It made you,
This is a huge tangent. Have you read Life of Pi?
I've not read it, but I love the film.
The book is so much better.
Okay.
You should definitely read Life
Okay,
of
I
Pi.
will.
Like you would love that completely.
I love Life. I mean, when Life of Pi came out, I was like, this is my shit. Like there are only
you need to read the book.
every time that something's like. That's why I'm obsessed with like boat sinking and shit. I don't know
Yeah.
why I'm obsessed with it.
So the show is amazing. The book is incredible. The film is by far the worst of the iterations. You need to read it. It's
And I
really,
loved it, so
yeah, and it's still good, but the book is amazing.
amazing. Well, I mean, maybe it's also because I this is a podcast exclusive. I fell through an icy pond when I was younger.
Did you?
Yes, I did. When I was living in France, me and my brother Haz and our neighbour Jack Taylor, shout out. We used to go with our dog Gina, and we would go into the wood, into like the woodlands around, and there was this icy pond, and I walked on it, and I fell through it, and yeah, it was scary because I remember coming up and not finding the hole.
Oh Christ!
And I could touch foot, but I was like, "Rrr," and I actually had to like break through. Yeah. And it was so cold. I remember like, and then I was like getting on top of it. And
Have you never told me the story?
girl, I'm keeping it for the book. we still have things that we need to tell each
Clearly
other.
we do.
Yeah, but so then I remember like getting on the ice, and then every time I'd put my weight on,
Balto.
it would fucking break again, and I had to do that right to the end.
Did you really?
Yeah, I really did. And then I got to the edge, and I was so like soaked and wet, and I said to my brother and Jack, who he had like fallen into his calf.
Jack.
And he was like, "Oh, I'm stuck," and I was like, I need to go home. I need to be. And my brother was
Were
like,
they helping you out?
No, they said,
What?
And my brother was like, oh, Jack's stuck. So I had to walk all the way. It's probably a kilometre home to walk on my own. And I remember I was walking back like, come back. Yeah, I was. And then I had these welly boots on, and they were full of water. And I remember tipping them out, ice water. And I jumped over some barbed wire, and I cut my feet on the barbed wire. And I remember that I couldn't feel anything because I was so numb. And then I was
when you were submerged under the ice, they weren't phased, bothered.
No, not really. I know. And then middle child syndrome and gay.
Yeah.
And
Annoying
so-
as well.
Yeah, very annoying. And then basically I remember, getting towards home and I walked my feet in this like puddle. And I remember the water was so warm and I was like, oh my God. And then I got in and my mum was like, what the fuck have you done? And she put me in like a lukewarm shower and I remember it burnt me so bad.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And I was ill for a week.
Oh, surprise.
So I think that kind of launched a little
yeah.
obsession with survival.
Oh, yeah. And Titanic as well?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'd already been obsessed with that.
yeah,
but I
yeah.
was like, I am Rose because I survived.
Yeah.
But guess what? I can't whistle.
Well, she couldn't either. She had a whistle to do it for her, didn't she? Yeah.
So, yeah, actually. Fuck Rose.
So you are Rose. No, you are
I
Rose.
am Rose. I am.
Oh, the big wooden
Rose
door.
by any other name, also the name Kaine, is still as sweet.
Sweet. Oh.
I think this is enough for a mini
Yeah,
bar.
it was a long mini
It was
bar.
a mini bar. I'll have to edit all of this. But thank you so much again, Lewis.
Thank you for coming. Oh,
It's
no.
been
Thank you for having me.
Always. I'll always have you, darling.
Please.
I have many more stories that I already have lined up for
I
you.
can't wait.
And yeah, everyone at home, thank you for listening. This is all done by me, edited by me, set up by me. So I don't know if there's any way you can make me money. Maybe I'll do a Patreon on one of those weird
Yeah, that's
things.
a good idea. I think it's a good step.
If you want to do it, then do, or buy me a drink when you see me next. But thank you so much for listening to the first mini bard of Breaking Bard.
Thank you, everyone.
Lewis. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-dum. Now that we're breaking bard. Now that we're breaking bard.